Hey, how goes it? Welcome to my Q&A video. I'm Scroll, and I got a lot of really interesting questions from you guys in the past week, and I should be able to go through them all and answer them during this video. So, for everyone who put like 10 questions, I'm going to do like half of your questions, and then go to other people, and then I'm going to come back and do the other half, just so we can kind of break it up and everybody gets a turn. We're going to start off with some questions by Ravofi. I don't know how to say that at all. And then we'll go to some other people. He left me a bunch of really interesting questions. Some of them are actually pretty good. So first, he said, if you could spend the day with either Ornstein or Smo, who would you choose? I would choose Ornstein, because Smo would try and kill and eat me. Alright, we're going to go into a little bit of Dark Souls lore here for a second. So, Ornstein's part of Gwyn's Knights. He's all very honorable and strong with, you know, both physically and with his will, and he's very noble and all that stuff. Smo is... He wasn't good enough for that. He's kind of got an insatiable bloodlust. He likes to crush people, and he was eating them, and it was kind of disgusting. So Gwyn turned him down from being a knight and let him stay the executioner, but he's just kind of creepy, kind of really creepy. So yeah, I'd probably hang out with Ornstein, and we'd be all badass and, you know, do honorable knight things and junk like that. It'd be pretty cool. Next question. Have you watched any web series? If so, what's your favorite? I don't really watch web series. I watched like The Guild for a while, and I watched some of Freddie W's stuff and stuff like that. But I'm subscribed to about 219 YouTube channels, and most of them are either makers, like people who build cool things and program stuff and things like that, Let's Players, or educational channels like BBC, National Geographic, stuff like that. So yeah, I don't really watch very many web series. When I do, it's usually not like in a long run. It's just kind of like me checking it out, and then I go back to watching people make things and do amazing things. What's your favorite TV series? Probably Firefly. I heard about it for years and years, and everyone was like, this is amazing, you need to watch this. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it eventually, and I didn't really pay any attention to it. And then I found it on Netflix, I think. Netflix, or maybe I found the first episode online somewhere or something. I don't remember. But I ended up watching the entire thing over the course of a week. And the only reason I didn't sit there and watch it all in one go was because it was so good that I wanted to actually kind of savor it and, you know, take it 1 hour at a time and watch an episode a night, or 2 episodes a night, maybe 3. And it was really good. So I highly recommend Firefly. Aside from that, Human Planet by the BBC is a really great series of documentaries. It was really surprising how good it was. I highly recommend watching that if you're interested in like just high quality documentaries. Next question. What would you say is your favorite video game? Dark Souls. Bottom line, it's Dark Souls. Dark Souls. Just for fun, what is your favorite color? Purple. Specifically this shade of purple. Next to that, I like earth tones. And I like deep greens and browns. Okay, so let's do some questions for someone else now. And then we'll come back to Raufi's questions in a bit. Let me bring this up here. So next we're going to do a few questions from Dolphonic Anarchy, which is a really badass name. Can you show me some swords and things you've blacksmithed? I'm actually visiting my friends right now, so I'm away from home and away from my forge. When I go home at some point, I don't even know how long I'm going to be staying here, I might dig through some old projects and see if there's anything worth showing. I've been doing blacksmithing for a couple of years, kind of on and off, and I'm not confident that I'm good enough to show anything I've made yet. Most of it is either practice pieces or just experiments to kind of figure out how metal works and moves and bends. I made like some fire pokers and stuff like that, and I made a small little hatchet, but it's kind of crap. But I'm still learning, and there's a lot of learning to be done, but I think I'm getting to the point where I'm comfortable trying to actually make a decent sword or something at this point. But a lot of the other things that I've made have been tools to help me make more things. Like, one of the cool things about blacksmithing is if you have something that you want to make and you need a specific thing, say a tool to bend metal a specific way, or to put notches in something or curves in something, you just take more metal and make those tools, and then you make things with those tools that you just made. It's pretty cool. I'll show you guys some of the things that I've made like that. I've got a few things just laying around that are pretty cool. Before I actually start doing any of the blacksmithing videos, I think I'll do like a show and tell video showing off my tools and stuff that I've got and things that I've made and things like that, just to give you guys a better idea of what we'll be doing. Let's see. He also asks, will you ever show your face? Also, Skillson asked me, when you show your face. No, when we see your face, yes. Hang on a second. Okay, there. I don't really like to show my face in videos because I don't think it's important. If I'm playing something where it's really important to see my face and see my emotions, then that's a thing. Like if I'm playing a scary game, for example, like when I played Space Blaster, I actually had a webcam. It was really shitty quality, but it's mainly because it was very dark in the room. If I'm going to play something scary, I might as well play it in pitch black. But if you go watch my Space Blaster videos, actually, you can see me in that video, although it's so dark you can't actually see my hair because the camera auto-balanced it and I look like I'm bald and missing part of my forehead. But yeah, so that's a thing. I don't really see the point of doing face cam for things that it doesn't matter what this is what I look like when I'm playing video games. This cannot be that entertaining. I'm just talking. There's a mic right over here next to me. There's a computer screen. So I don't really care to show my face for things unless it's actually important for me to show my face. Next question. Will you play Pathfinder with me and some of my friends? It's D&D with a different name. I'm really busy most of the time. But if it's like a short campaign or maybe like a single night adventure or something like that, maybe we could work something out. I like doing like co-ops and collabs with other YouTubers and stuff, so I don't see why I couldn't like do a over Skype Pathfinder campaign or something. I haven't really actually played Pathfinder without like homebrew rules that completely change the game, so it'll be kind of neat to play vanilla actual Pathfinder. Let's see. Next question. Attack or defense? Depends on the situation. A good defense, or a good offense can be the best defense if your opponent doesn't see it coming or they're quickly dealt with. A good defense can be the best offense if your opponent is unfocused, foolhardy, and has extended their efforts beyond what they're capable of. So it really depends on the situation. Let's see. Stealth or barbarian? Both. My oldest roleplay character that I used to use in D&D and a few other things, he was a rogue who used a hatchet, a very sharp hatchet, and a short warhammer that had a curved pick on the back end of it. So it was like a pick with a hammer on this end. And he'd use the pick end like a dagger, and he'd just hatchet people in the back of the head. So, sneaky barbarian. Okay, so we're going to take a break from Dolphonic Anarchy, and we'll come back to him in a minute because we got a few other people to ask questions. Let me see here. Vigil asks, have you ever made projectile weapons like bows or crossbows? I once made a crossbow for LARP. It was a bit weak though. Any idea what to use for bow parts of it? I want to rework it. The body is okay, but the firing mechanism, and the firing mechanism works well too. Also, did you do LARP? So I actually have right now seasoning in my basement. Well, I say basement garage workshop. Some long logs that are about 4.5, 5 feet long that I'm planning on making short bows out of this summer, hopefully. They need to dry out the rest of the way, and I need to turn them into staves to actually do stuff. But I want to try my hand in it, and hopefully this summer I'll be able to. I do have a friend that I met online who makes primitive bows as a hobby, and they actually sell them. So they offered to give me some tips if I ever tried it, and I figured I'll just call them up on Skype, and maybe they can give me some tips and talk me through the process. But I've watched other people do it online, and I have a lot of woodworking experience and stuff anyway, so I think I'll give it a shot. As for what to use for a LARP crossbow, talk to your LARP organizer and see what they suggest, because a lot of them will actually have pointed people in the direction of a specific like manufactured bow or something that you can buy that's low poundage. If they don't care or they don't know, I found that you can get super low poundage bows for like their youth bows for usually kids under the age of 10. Just like they're not a toy. They're slightly more dangerous than a toy, but they're incredibly low poundage. You couldn't actually hurt someone with a padded arrow, as long as you're following your LARP's rules, obviously. But they're very weak, but they still have distance to them, so you can shoot them, maybe 20, 30 feet, and they're pretty good. Just look into those, talk to your organizers. Remember, the most important thing is to check with your organizers, because they'll throw out your bow if it's not good, and be safe, because you're LARPing, you don't want to hurt anyone. I don't really LARP. I would love to, but there's no LARPs anywhere near me, and it would be very expensive to go far away to any of these events, and I don't have money to go to like a weekend event or anything like that either. There used to be like a Nero group somewhere around here, but they fell apart a few years back. I have made a lot of props, which I'll show in the show and tell video. I've made a lot of props and I made a lot of weapons for LARPs. Using, depending on the rule set, I've used the PVC core, and I've used fiberglass core, and I've used foam mats and a bunch of other stuff. I've made all kinds of things. I used to sell props and stuff like that as a business, but when the economy kind of took a crap, I wasn't making any money at it, so I just kind of dropped it. Maybe if the economy recovers, I can try that again. That would be pretty cool. Let's see, who's next? Let's see. Mr. Reaper Tyobolt says, show us some cool stuff that you've made. Keep up the great work. Been following you for a while and sharing your videos. Keep up the great work, man. First off, thanks a lot for sharing the videos. Sharing is one of the best things you could possibly do for me. It's better than a fave. It's better than a like. And as much as I love talking to you guys, it actually helps my videos get out there a lot more than comments. Although I think comments do actually matter when it comes to your videos getting shared other places. Either way, I don't really care. I just rather would talk to you guys. But sharing my videos on your Facebooks and on Reddit and stuff like that is pretty awesome, because it gets more people to see my stuff, and I really, really, really appreciate that. So, and I'm really glad you've been enjoying my videos. So that's awesome. Let's see, where was my train of thought? I've got some pictures of stuff that I've made, mainly props and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't have any pictures of my blacksmithing stuff. Most of it's kind of crap. But I've got some pictures. Let me just see which ones I actually made a list of things that I wanted to show before I had recorded this, so I'd remember which ones. So let's see. Okay. So I made this. It's a page from a necromancy spell book. I made it for a tabletop prop when I was DMing, and I drew the whole thing by hand. I tea-stained it, weathered it, burnt the edges. I did the whole thing. In fact, I might do a tutorial on how to do things like that. That would be kind of cool if you guys were interested in that. The holes on the top left are on the left side of the entire page. were actually put there so I could bind it into a full spell book, but I never got that far in the project. It was really, really, really labor intensive to make the whole thing. But it's definitely one of the favorite props that I've made in recent years. Let's see. Next, I've got this mask that I made for my brother. He wanted something for a Halloween party, and he wanted a like a Hannibal Lecter kind of mask, and we couldn't find one, so I had some plaster, and I plaster casted his face, glued leather onto that after painting it. The bars are pieces of scrap steel I had laying around, and I just kind of threw the whole thing together in about 6 hours, maybe 6 hours, including drying time and all that. So that was kind of fun. And let's see. So here's a building I made for Warhammer 40k. This is one of my first serious terrain pieces I ever made. The whole thing's made out of craft foam boards. There's some wire, plastic bits, and a lot of paint. There's also bits of litter on the ground, which are pretty cool, including a tin can, which is about the size of an eraser on a number 2 pencil. The shards of glass in the windows are actually pieces of plastic that I cut out and then scored with the dull edge of an X-Acto blade to make them look cracked. And there's some rebar here and there, which is textured and detailed with paint. That's, I think, just straight up wire and maybe some paper clips. But yeah, that was one of my favorite Warhammer projects. And the whole thing's actually magnetic. You can take the building off of the base for transport and for moving units underneath it. So that was fun. That's some of the stuff that I like making. Just very simple examples. I've got a bunch more. I'll have to take pictures and show you guys in a show and tell video. I made a mimic, like treasure chest bitey mimic. God, I really need to take a picture of that. You guys will love that. I've got a few other 40k things and stuff that I have pictures of for my business. I'll just kind of show those over the video for a little bit. Let's see. Next question. Arceus Gaming asks, do you like Diablo 3? And if so, would you be interested in doing some videos when Reaper of Souls comes out? And he says I'd be interested in watching them for sure. I didn't care for Diablo 3 because I played it at launch, and anyone who played Diablo 3 at launch knows how incredibly frustrating that was. There was a serious issue connecting. If you did manage to get onto the servers, they'd kick you off pretty frequently. There was about 2 seconds of lag, so playing on any kind of permadeath or hard settings was really, really frustrating because you would just straight up die. Basically, it kind of ruined the game for me a lot, and I've heard that it's improved since then. They've fixed almost all the issues, but I got so annoyed at it, I don't even want to. I got most of the way through the game, and then I got so fed up with it, I just quit, and I just never played it again. But I might revisit it sometime. Like I said, I heard it got a lot better, so who knows. Let's see. Let's go back to Ravufi. I don't know how to say your name, but it's amazing. Chocolate or vanilla? It depends. I like vanilla a lot more, but I can appreciate a good, deep, rich chocolate. But chocolate's like one of those things that you can spoil if you overindulge in it, and vanilla is always refreshing. So I like vanilla. Let's see. Do you hate centipedes? Actually, I love centipedes. I will now tell the story about my centipede project. So when I was in high school, I took 3 years of electronics, and we did some robot design and building and stuff in that class, which was pretty awesome. I got to play with a lot of circuitry. I got shocked a few times. It was just pretty amazing. And I came up with the idea for a beambot. If you don't know what a beambot is, at some point go Google it. It's a really fun kind of little subculture of robotics builders, and they make really cool robots. I wanted to make a beambot that was a centipede, and I wanted it to consist of 10 or so independent robots that would kind of sense each other and act on that, but they wouldn't actually be wired together. and it was going to be a centipede, and it was going to have jaws and be amazing, and it was going to scream and screech very loudly whenever it bumped into something, and it was going to be horrifying. And at the time I was in high school, my room was a mess. I had clothes and stuff piled up everywhere. So I decided I would let the centipede robot roam around my room screaming all the time whenever I wasn't there. And you'd have to go find it. Now, I'm not talking this would be a little centipede. I'm talking this thing would be probably a meter long, made up of lots of little robots with fangs that are as long as your hand. And it would just crawl through stuff screaming. I never finished it. I did start gathering the parts to it, and I started figuring out how it would work with a friend who I can actually program those things. But after high school, the dream kind of died because I couldn't really get the whole project done on my own. But God, I need to do that one of these days. Someday I'm just going to sit down at my soldering station, I'm going to get all the parts, and start building centipede robots. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, I like centipedes. I'm very sorry for your misfortune of watching certain movies and things that I refuse to watch. But yeah. Next question. If you could fight either a kangaroo or a giraffe, which one would you choose and why? This is a really hard one. So I'm going to choose a Kangaraffe. Illustration by Silver. I feel this fight would be epic, and the beast would have a run for its money. It would be fun. Fighting a giant thing. I picture this thing probably about 15 to 20 feet tall, weigh about the same as about an elephant. I'd probably just have a sword. After I defeated it, I would make a cloak from its hide, trophies and crafts from its bones, and I would smoke the meat for snacks. Okay, and last question of Raufi. If I could live in any video game world, which would it be? If I could choose Dungeons and Dragons from any D&D game, that would be amazing. I, in general, just love the D&D universe. And I don't think there's a Pathfinder video game yet, but I really like the Pathfinder universe as well. With, like, Baba Yaga and all that badassery. High fantasy, lots of magic, dungeon crawling, adventure. It's perfect. And the worlds, in general, are very realistic as far as civilizations and functionality go, so it could actually be a real working place. If I couldn't choose D&D because there are too many random D&D games that all have different kind of worlds, I'd probably have to go with Dark Souls, which would be hell. But I think I could handle it. I've been told that I have a high mental fortitude, so I think I could stop myself from hollowing and actually thrive in a world full of death and getting your ass kicked constantly. Let's see, next question. J. Roach asks, what program do you use to edit your stuff? I use Camtasia 7, I think. Hang on. I'm on my computer. I can just minimize this and check. Yes, Camtasia Studio 7 is what I use for editing. I record in Audacity for my audio and Fraps. I also have used the Camtasia video screen recorder thing. Some games don't like Fraps. I have noticed mainly Source games like the Hidden, Half-Life, stuff like that, really don't like Fraps sometimes, and it ends up messing up. So Camtasia works fine for those. Let's see. What are your top 3 video games to play? Now I'm not just going under the assumption that this is like my favorite top games. I'm thinking these are the top games that I'd recommend for other people to play. I think everyone should play Dark Souls. They should play through it once. Even if you hate it, you should play through the game once. The game will teach you so much. You will learn humility. You will learn patience. You will learn observation skills. And it'll give you a sense of accomplishment that no other game has ever given you. At least if you have started playing games past the original NES era. You'll hate most of Dark Souls, and then you'll be in love with it for the rest of your life. Game number 2, Shadow of the Colossus. It's a PlayStation 2 exclusive, I think, but there's an HD remix for PS3, and since PS4 is out now, you can find. I can see you back there. Since you can, this is what happens when you record videos at friends' houses. You can usually find a PS3 for fairly cheap right now if you look online for a used one, and then the HD remix is cheap. So I recommend that. Generally, the game's world is amazing. It's completely breathtaking. The Colossi are awe-inspiring in the truest form of the phrase. The puzzles are satisfying, and by puzzles I mean boss fights, and it's just a game that everyone should experience. Game number 3. You never said video game, so I'm going to say Dungeons and Dragons, or Pathfinder, or Shadowrun, or any other expansive tabletop RPG. Just pick a genre that you're interested in. If it's fantasy, you've got a ton of stuff to pick from. If it's sci-fi, you've got a good chunk of things there. Cyberpunk, even modern stuff, war, whatever. You have many, many different tabletop RPGs to pick from. And tabletop games are stuff that people need to be playing. We focus a lot of our energy into video games as gamers. But there is a wealth of amazing experiences waiting for us if we're willing to try a pen and paper game. And I highly recommend doing it with some friends, or even finding a random group of veterans. It's not that hard to find people who are playing and that are willing to take you in and play your first tabletop game. Find some friendly gamers, because there are some people out there that will be dicks. And I recommend finding a relaxed, lenient DM for your first experience. I'm a very chill DM. And I always keep in mind that the goal of the game is to make sure my group is having a lot of fun, make the game challenging, and make the story as entertaining as possible. And I want to give them the tools to have a good time and have good character growth. The goal of these games is not to kill the group. So yeah. We'll come back to J. Roach in a minute, because I have an amazing segue that I can't pass up. So Gabriel asked, let's see, if I recall correctly, you mentioned playing some pen and paper RPGs. Was it D&D or something else? What's your favorite pen and paper RPG, if there are more than one? And have you ever played any MMORPGs other than Dark Souls? I have Dungeons and Dragons Online account myself. Okay, hang on. I actually made a list of things. First, I have played many, many, many tabletop RPGs. I played D&D. I've played Pathfinder. I've played Paranoia. I've played RuneQuest, GURPS, like just various GURPS homebrews. I have played I don't know how many countless homebrews. In high school, I founded and was the president of the tabletop RPG club, and that is my greatest and nerdiest achievement in school. We were the fastest growing extracurricular club in the school. I think by the end of the first year we had something like 60 or something members. Should ask Anayo. He was... How many people joined the RPG club?
That's a good question, because I don't even know. I just know a lot.
By the time you graduated, was it...
Oh, we had over 100 people.
There you go. It was over 100 people. It was super popular in our school. I think by the first year we had 60, and after that it snowballed. It was amazing. It was a very big, very tight-knit, very fun club of people that were very interested in good stories. Okay. So yeah. So another thing, I've actually been working on a rule set for a game for a few years now, and I have a lot of it fleshed out, and I'm in the alpha testing stages right now. But then I started doing YouTube, and YouTube started getting kind of big for me. I mean, I'm not a big channel in any way. I mean, I've only got, what, it's like less than 1,500 at the time of recording this. God knows what'll happen in the future. But I never expected to break 100. So I decided to devote a little bit more time to YouTube and making more videos for you guys. And I put the whole making the tabletop game on the back burner right now. I still tweak it from time to time, but my group's been really, really busy. Everyone's got work and stuff like that, and it's slowed down a lot. But I wouldn't mind picking it back up and working on it sometime when I've got some free time and maybe my friends want to play. Maybe, who knows, maybe we'll record it and put it on the channel. That could be fun. Oh god, you guys should see our tabletop adventures. But yeah, so if that's the thing you guys are interested in, or even if it's not, because I don't really care, I'm going to post videos anyways, I think I might do that. Okay, so let's see. MMORPGs. Okay, so I started playing RuneScape. It's probably my first one back in 2004-ish, maybe 2003. Could have even been earlier than that. I don't even remember how old that is. I played WoW right before Burning Crusade came out. So I got maybe 3 months of vanilla WoW. Let's see. I cannot remember how many free MMOs I've played. Let's see. I played some Guild Wars 2 for a while. I played Neverwinter for a while, and I made a dungeon, and it was a lot of fun and really, really complicated. I played Secret World for a while. The reason I haven't been recording more of that is, first, I keep losing a lot of footage every time I try to record it. I don't know why. Nothing I have that records works with that, but and my group kind of fell apart. And well, it's the same group that I roleplay with, so everybody like has work, and it just didn't work out. But there's a ton of MMOs that I've played. I don't know if there's a whole lot that I haven't played. I've even played like some crazy Japanese and Korean ones. But yeah, so that's the thing. Let's finish Dolphonic Anarchy's questions. Let me scroll back over to them. Let's see. Do you have a girlfriend? So, me and Silver have been together for 7 years. God, we got engaged 5 years ago? We met when we were teenagers, so that was a while ago. God, I feel old. And we've been living together for a few years now, and we're not really in any kind of hurry to get married or an age thing. It's just, we don't really care. She's actually over there, but I don't know if you can just kind of wave onto the camera.
I can do it.
Oh, okay.
Take cards, because...
So yeah, this is the person who does all of my art. So yeah, there you go. You can go back to drawing now. Let's see. He also asks, how old am I? I am 25 or 537, depending on who you ask. What religion, or am I an atheist? It's complicated, and I prefer not to discuss religion. Let's put it this way. I've studied most modern and many ancient religions as an academic pursuit, just kind of wanting to know more about all of them. And I respect most of them for what they are, but I'm just going to keep it at that for the sake of my YouTube career, I guess you could say. I don't want to get too far into it, to be honest. It's not a thing that's really important to any of us. You guys don't need to know what I do, and I don't need to tell you, and we'll just keep it at that. So he says, I'm 13. I'm thinking about starting, trying some YouTube at 16. Should I? All right. So starting YouTube is a thing you can do whenever you want. You need to be aware that if you're going to do Let's Plays, it's hard to get started. Like I said, I didn't expect to get above 100 people watching me. Also, the internet is full of dicks and bullies. As a kid gamer, you're going to get screwed with. People are going to mess with you. I'm assuming you're doing Let's Plays. Unless you are extremely funny or really awesome at the game, everyone is going to be like, "Oh, you're 13, blah, blah, blah," angry. Go play a Source game and turn on your mic, and you'll figure out the kind of people who are going to get pissed off at you for no good reason. That being said, if you can ignore those people, or if you think you are awesome enough to do these things, just go for it. I mean, why not? It's going to be very, very hard work to get anywhere, and you're going to have something like even with the minimal editing that I do in most cases. I really just clean up audio and clean up the gameplay's video a little tiny bit here and there, and I do minimal effort editing with a lot of this stuff because it would take me a very long time, and it still takes up a lot of my time, and it is very, very intensive to do a lot of editing. So but I say go for it. If you want to do some like music videos and stuff, that would be a cool thing to do with editing practice. If you want to do a lot of stuff like my friend Farrowin, who's actually sitting over there editing right now, she has a Star Wars music video, or is it? Yes, that she made when she was 13, and it has well over 1 million views right now. So yeah, that's a thing. If you want to do it, then do it. And I just say, more power to you, and it would, the more content that's out there, the better. And question number 10, we already kind of talked about. If I have time, I'll toss you a PM or something, or you give me your Skype, so maybe I'll add you on Skype or something. I don't know. Like I said, I'm really, really busy. In fact, I've been recording this for far too long as it is, so we got to wrap this thing up. Got a few more questions. Let's finish up Jay Roach's questions so that I can find them. Let's see. What type of TV shows do you like, if any? Mostly I like documentaries and educational stuff. I also like fantasy and sci-fi stuff, and recently I've been getting into Game of Thrones and Doctor Who, thanks to these guys. Yeah, that basically sums up all the TV that I have ever really been interested in watching. I haven't actively watched TV in a couple of years. I just don't watch TV. I watch YouTube, if anything. Let's see. Are you going to do something else on YouTube? Let's see. I already talked about the blacksmithing and the prop making stuff. Let's see. I might do some segments on game design, because I have made some little Flash games, and I like the concepts of game designs and the psychology behind it. I might show some of the little games that I'm planning on working on and coding and doing the art for and stuff like that. Just like I said, little Flash games, maybe even some point-and-click adventures we've been talking about. We were playing with the idea of maybe making a horror game and maybe a few other things, just like us and this group of friends here. Whatever comes to mind is what I'm going to be putting on the channel, but most of it is obviously going to be gameplay or gaming related, because gaming in general is a big part of my life. Let's see. Am I going to be doing any more 7 Days to Die stuff? Not until the game's working better, and they add more of the features that they've been talking about. Also, when multiplayer is working smoothly, that would be a big plus, because I'd like to play with some of my friends. Me and Cordadove, we're going to do stuff, because he's horrified of zombies, as he is actually horrified of most things. So it'd be kind of cool to be able to play 7 Days to Die with Cordadove when he gets back from his schooling thing. Lucky bastard gets to go to Holland for a while and do a big studying abroad thing. He's from Finland anyways, so that's not a super far distance, but the fact is he gets to go to freaking Holland. So yeah, maybe we'll do more of that later, but right now I don't even care. Also, the game is just, it needs work. But yeah, so that's the thing. I think that's everything for now. I think we're going to do another one of these when we hit 2,000 subs. Jesus, that is a large number. I can't believe we're already most of the way there. And I might do another one sooner if you guys have a ton more questions for me. But so far, I think that generally covers everything. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying all the different Let's Plays. Let me know what you want to play, or what you want me to play, and we'll see what we can do. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the comments. I'll see you later.